Hi everyone, welcome to art class. So today you're going to be doing this with me virtually. Your teacher's going to hand out the paper to you, and then after that, you are not going to bother your teacher, okay? So you're going to watch the board. So there's two things I want you to do. So if you're not sure what to do, I would like you to look at the board and try to see if you can figure it out. If you cannot, then you can look to your partner next to you and try to see what they're doing and see if you can figure it out. And if you still can't figure it out, then you can ask someone next to you if they could help out. But I would like you to be watching the board, and please keep it quiet because during this time your teacher is also planning and they need their time to plan. So you're going to be working with me, and today we're going to be doing a geode project. So these geodes are like rocks, and sometimes when you cut the rocks in half, they have all these beautiful colors. So we're going to be making these geode rocks using markers if you have them. If you don't have markers, we can use crayons or color pencils. For this assignment, really you can use any materials that you have. So whatever you have will be perfect. So in just a minute, I'm going to show you the materials list again one more time, and then you're going to give you some time to gather all your materials, and then we're going to get started with the project. Hope you guys have fun, and remember, please keep it down and make sure you're watching the video and working with me. See you in a minute. For class today, you'll need your pencil and the paper that your teacher hands out. If you have a black marker, great. If you do not, you can always use a black color pencil or a black crayon. We will take whatever you have. Now, when we color things in today, if you have markers, you can use markers, you can use crayons or color pencils. Anyone would really work. So go ahead and gather your material. I'm going to give you some time. In about 30 seconds, we're going to get started with the project. All right, so hopefully you gathered all materials, and if you didn't, it's okay. I promise to go slow, and we're going to get started here. I'm going to stop sharing, and we'll get going. Before we get started, I'd like you to show you a video about advanced colors. Now, we saw this color video before with the primary and secondary colors. I'm going to show you this video on some of our other colors, okay? So take a look.
We started with the color basics. Let's face it, you made it this far for a reason. Now you're itching and you're reason to learn more and more. So let's review. It starts with yellow, red, and blue. It's elementary, 3 colors primary, 1 yellow, 2 blue, 3 red like strawberry. Only other colors come from these 3, yo. But you need to learn more to be a true color hero. Now, level 2, here's what you do. You mix red and blue, red and yellow, yellow and blue. 3 new colors called secondary. 1 orange, 2 purple, 3 green like a tree. So now we have a nice color wheel of 6 then. Well, what happens if we mix them again? Each color with each color beside them. Brand new colors, it's not scary. Level 3, these new colors are called tertiary. Keep on staring with your eyes, learn the names memorized, tertiary colors from the top clockwise. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, red, purple. Now we're back at the beginning. Those names are boring, they got other names too, like amber, vermilion, teal, and chartreuse, violet, magenta. Let's all raise our voices, say new color names. Now look at the choices, look at the choices. The color wheel's grown bigger, it's expanding. Just like your mind is demanding that you learn more about color schemes. Are you ready? Opposite colors on the wheel are called complementary. Whoa, complementary, did you say? These are the colors that are furthest away from each other on the wheel, but they clash when together. Some Call it contract. You want some examples to see what it means? If you want to be seen, just try wearing red in a forest of green. Don't hide a purple monster in an all yellow town and emphasize this orange with a blue background. Let's keep moving on. No, this ain't the end. We're gonna take a look at colors that blend nice together. Now back to the wheel. Let's discuss colors that are placed together called analogous. So you take colors that are side by side, 1 and 2 and 3. We got green and teal and blue and these analogous colors please the eye, create visual harmony. Let's try. How about yellow, orange, and red, orange this time? I know oranges don't rhyme, but you can combine them all together, and you got a fire so sweet to stare at. You're getting mesmerized by these colors, but we ain't done yet. No, we ain't done yet. Moving right along with the song on the thought fanatic. There's another color scheme we call monochromatic. Mono means one and chromatic means color. Sound too simple, don't worry, you can use other values. Combine it with any tones, tints, and shades. What's all that? It means black, whites, and grays. Yeah, values. We got another whole song concerning that, but for now you should just concentrate on learning colors. On learning colors. Yeah, we're learning colors. Complementary colors, analogous colors, monochromatic colors.
All right, guys, so at this point you should all have your paper, and I'm just going to put this out here so you can remember and kind of see on the side what we're going to be doing. I like to turn my paper sideways like this. Here are some of my geode rocks. They're really fun, and we're using some Zentangle and design on our background images too. I have some example of some Zentangle designs here that you could do, or you can make up your own. That's completely up to you. I also have some more advanced Zentangle designs that you could try as well. You decide what works best for you. Okay, so everyone gets your pencil and your paper out. Okay, I'm going to move this away for now. I always like to write my name on the back, and to make sure I don't lose this, I always write your class number on the back, whatever that might be. So let's just say I am 303, like Miss Perry's class, but maybe you're a different class. So whatever class you are, you write your name, your number on the back, and let's flip it over. Okay, before we go to the Zentangle designs, we're going to be making 3 geodes, but 1 off the page. The geode rocks are about the size of my fist, so 1, 2, 3, and 1 off the page. So let's start here in our lower left-hand corner. Now we're not making a perfect circle. It's kind of like an oval-y shape. So with my pencil, I'm going to kind of make this bumpy oval. It's not a perfect shape like a rock. So I'm going to do 1. Then I'm going to go a little bit smaller on the inside, 2, and then a really small one, 3. So you have 3 layers, 1, 2, and 3. So go ahead and draw your first one. Again, about the size of your fist. It's kind of like an oval, but it goes a little wavy. And we've got 1, 2, 3 different levels. All right, now that we're done with this one, we're going to come up into here. This might be a little smaller than this one. Again, around the size of your fist, but let's go smaller. We're going to do another little shape. We're keeping this one on the paper. That's 1, 2, and 3. 3 different layers. So far we have our first shape that was about the size of our fist. Then we have our second shape that's a little bit smaller. Okay, so for our next part, we're going to go to number 3, and I like to put this one down over here. Kind of go wavy, wavy. If you want to go off the paper, you're welcome to. I'm going to go a little bit smaller and then smaller again. So I've got my 3 layers, and now I have 3 geode rocks. Now for our last geode rock, we want it to be kind of off the page, but I realized like I'm looking at this corner and this corner. This doesn't have much space, so it's going to feel like my artwork's all over here on my paper. So look at your paper and decide where would be best to put your rock. I think since I have a lot of paper here and not as much here, I'm going to actually put my rock over here. So I'm going to put my pencil along the side and kind of make it wavy so it's kind of off the page. Then another little wave, and then even smaller. All right. Now remember, at this point in time, just keep looking at the board if you have a question. And if you need to, you can just kind of look at your classmates to the side, but we're keeping our voices down and we're just focusing on our artwork. And if you really can't figure out, then you can ask someone next to you, but please do not ask your teacher. All right. So now we have these shapes. We're going to do something a little different today. We're going to go back and forth between materials. I don't want to draw the Zentangle designs. Well, I guess we could go into them. That's probably fine. Let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to be making shapes in between. See these little shapes? We like to make them in between. So we're going to do about, I'm going to look at mine and I can have one here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we want to have a minimum, which means at least 8 to 10 shapes, okay? Oh, Miss Merlo, I still don't understand what you're meaning. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. Maybe it'll show you the shapes are these ones out here, and it's kind of hard. You want to put them in between, but you don't want to fill it. And remember, we're doing 8, so we don't want them too small. We don't want them too big. So I like to say about the size of my thumb. So when I look at my thumb and I put my thumb on my paper, that's going to be like how tall my shape is. So I'm going to put my thumb around and kind of measure like that. That's your tool, right? So I put my thumb here and I'm just making a shape, and I can make it any kind of shape I like. I'm kind of trying to make mine a little bit like roundish, not like squared edges, but if you want to do a square edge shape, feel free. That's okay. So that was one. It's about the size of my thumb. Now I'm going to put my thumb over here. I'm going to try another shape, and maybe I want to make this more like an hourglass. That's like where the time goes out shape. So that's my shape number 2. Now remember, we're trying to do 8 different shapes, okay? So I got 1 shape, 2 shape. Don't worry about the Zentangle designs. Okay, we're gonna wait with that. I think I wanna put another one here. And remember, you probably don't have the same picture as me, which is great because I don't want to see the same artwork. I like that all of yours is different and that there's variety. It's fun to see different kinds of artwork. So don't worry if your shapes are not like mine. Just try your best. 1, 2, 3. I need 5 more. So I'll put my thumb down here. I think I want to try to put one down here. That's a different one, kind of like a triangular rounded shape. That's 4 for me. And do a weird one, like kind of go up. This is kind of longer. This one went a little bit bigger than my thumb because that's okay. I need to start fitting them in. So now I have 5. I'm going to try one over here. 6. I'm going to put one over here as my number 7 and one over here. And guess what? I did this one off the page. So this geode's off the page. And now this guy's off the page. So that's number 8. Okay, so now I have 8 different ones. Now, if you find you're like, Miss Merlo, I have a lot of blank space still. See how these all are filled in and I have no big areas of white? That's what we're going for. So if you need to add 9 or 10 to make sure you fill your space, go ahead and do that. So at this point in time, I'm going to give you about a minute while I'm talking to go ahead and make sure you got these spaces. Now, please do not go ahead of me. I know you might think you know what the next steps are, but I actually have you do a few different things before we go in and add any Zentangle design or coloring. So do not go ahead of me. Please just wait. All right, so I know a lot of you are finishing up those beautiful little shapes. Again, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 geode rocks. And then my little background shapes, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you guys might have a little bit more, and that's okay. Also remember that we're going to be going over this with either marker if we have it, or crayon, or color pencil. So don't worry if your lines aren't perfect. We can go in and erase them later, okay? All right, so at this point in time, I'm going to actually go ahead and do our black outline and then go to our Zentangle design, because for me, I would really like to make sure I color together with you with these geode shapes. And then the Zentangle design takes a little bit longer. So then that's kind of when you can have your free time, and I'll put on some music and you can do your Zentangle design. All right, so what I would like you to do is grab something black. It can be a black marker, a black crayon, or it could be a black pencil. If you don't have black, then just take a dark color, dark blue, whatever you have, okay? I'll take any material you have right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to actually use my black crayon, and I'm going to go over these lines right now. So I'm going to go ahead and try my best to go on top of the pencil, because with crayon, it's harder to erase because it smudges. With color pencil and with marker, it's actually easier to erase. So go ahead and carefully go over all your lines with your dark color. I'm going to be using that dark color in a little bit, but now you can see how these kind of come to life. They're really popping off the page now. If you'd like to go in and erase, you can. I actually made some oopsies and I didn't quite go over my pencil line, but I'll be honest, I don't want to erase because I use crayon. If I try to erase, it's going to get smudgy. But if you use like a marker, you're welcome to erase or black color pencil. But it's okay to show some pencil lines. I actually don't mind them. Okay, so I'm going to give you another second here to kind of finish up your lines. And in just a minute, we're going to go to the coloring. So make sure you get whatever you want to color without. Today, I'm just going to continue with the crayons. And you're welcome to use color pencils or markers for the next part. Whatever you have is perfect. Now, I don't have a geode rock. I was trying to look at my desk. I've got some fun rocks over here. I actually like to collect rocks, and sometimes I like to paint on this as my husband's name. It's really cool because sometimes the inside of the rocks have all these like cool colors. Have you ever gotten one of them before? It's called a geode rock. Sometimes when you buy them at the store, they're like really, really thin, and it's like seeing the layers inside the rocks. And sometimes they're beautiful colors. Sometimes they're just crystals and white. But that's kind of what we're trying to do with our shapes today. Okay, so I'm going to get a color. Now, you learned about colors. We're doing a monochromatic color scheme. That means in each geo, we're only going to use one color. But they said something about value, value, value. We're going to push with our crayon to make it really bright, then go lighter, lighter, and lighter. So we have 3 values out of 1 crayon. That sounds a little complicated, Miss Merlo. Let's give it a shot. All right, so I'm going to take my orange. You can take whatever color you like. That's up to you. So I'm going to take my orange, and I'm going to come in here. So if we look over here, I use markers and crayons for this one. You can use 2 materials if you like. I'm just going to use crayons. So we're going to go on the inside here and start coloring around. Now I'm pushing pretty hard with my orange right now. I'm just going to go ahead and get it like this and get it right in there. That's 1. Then I'm going to come into this circle. and come right in here. That's 2. And I'm gonna kind of go whoop right in there. So I've got 3 layers, 1, 2, 3, of pushing really hard with whatever color you're using. Again, you do not have to use orange, and you can use whatever material you have. So I'll bring that a little closer just in case you couldn't see. So what I did was I pushed hard here and went around. Then I went to the next one and I pushed hard here. Then I went to the inside one and I pushed hard here. Awesome. That was color number 1, or I should say value number 1. That meant with our one color, we pushed really hard. Now, for this next part, we're going to go in one more time and then one last time. So we need to do 2 more sections. This is 1. I'm going to do 1 more and then 1 last one. So we need to leave some space. It might be hard to leave space in this middle guy. We're going to try. So for this next one, I'm going to start coloring a little lighter. Okay, I'm coloring like a little bit lighter. Can you see that? And I'm coming in a little bit. So I'm not pushing hard with my crayon here. I'm just kind of coloring lightly here on this one. And I'm going to bring it closer so you can see. So it's kind of easier to see. See how it's dark? It got lighter. And now I'm going to go into this one. I'm going to go a little bit lighter inside here. And then the little one, I'm just going to go a little light in the inside one. So it almost looks like we have 1 level and 2 levels here, then 1 level and 2 levels here. So go ahead and make sure you do that nice little coloring. We don't want it to be, and if you find it looks too close, then maybe go back to this one and push a little harder, the outer one, to make it pop a little bit more if you think that it's not showing. Okay, but I promise when you hold it from far away, it's going to be beautiful and totally show. Good work. Now remember, we all work at different paces. So if I'm going too quick, I promise there's going to be times where I start to talk again and you'll get caught up. So don't worry if you're like, oh my gosh, you're moving to the next step and I'm not done with this step. So what happens when I move to the next step? Just look and watch and continue to work on what you're working on. But make sure you watch, because that's when you forget. So if you don't watch what I'm doing and you just continue working, when you look back up, you're going to say, wait, how did she do that? I didn't see it. So I'll always kind of stop you to be like, hey guys, watch me for this next step. And then if you're done, great, watch. And if you're not done, just watch really quick and then you can go back to what you're doing. But I promise I will give you some breaks here so you can get caught up. And let's not rush ahead either. So for this last one, I want you to barely touch your paper. It's almost going to look white because you want to almost like barely touch that crayon or material. You're just going to like you're just wiping your paper, very little. We're going to color in so light that it's almost barely even there. I'm not even pushing at all. I'm just kind of going back and forth with my hand, not even pushing, and I'm kind of filling in all this extra color. So see, I'm like not even pushing there. And then when I bring it closer, you can see I've got 1, 2, 3 levels in each section. And look how beautiful that looks. And from far away, trust me, it looks even prettier. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 more geodes to color. So at this point in time, you guys are going to start coloring. I'm going to put a little bit of music in the background. You know, sometimes I do that instrumental music. I'm going to put some of that in the background while we are coloring. So you can take your next one and start going. All right, I think my next color is going to be purple. I remember on that video, or actually the opposite color of the color wheel for orange is blue. But let's just see what I do. Okay, you can choose any colors you like. You do not have to do the same as me. Okay, here we go. So remember, push hard with the first color, then softer with the next, and lighter with the last. So I did 1, 2, 3 layers of pushing as hard as I could. Now the next layer is going to be a little lighter, and my last layer, the lightest. That was my second layer. Now my last layer, I'm going to barely even touch it, barely even do it. Almost nothing there. So I've done 2 now so far, 1 orange, 1 purple, and each layer I'm trying to do 3 different values, which is pushing hard and pushing soft. So now I have 2 more to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put that music back on, and you guys can keep working. Minute class. And if you're an hour class, we'll have a little bit of extra time at the end. So I'm going to have you work at your own pace. Now remember, we're going to be doing our Zentangle patterns with pencil first. These are the designs that we're going to do in these little shapes that we made. Now you do not have to do the same shapes as mine, and you don't have to do any on the paper. You can make them up. I'm going to be moving mine around because I want to keep these out so you can see for examples if you need some help. And I'm going to start drawing my Zentangle designs in pencil for the next 15 minutes. Then once I am done, I'm going to outline them. If you have any extra time, that's when we can go in and do a little bit more. And if you want to color them, that's for people with the extra time. We'll go in and color around in the Zentangle design. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start doing some of my patterns. I'm going to look here, look there, see what I like to do. And again, you don't have to pick one on the paper. That is completely up to you. There's lots of different patterns and ideas that we can do. Okay, I'm going to move this just a little bit out of the way. So that's one of mine. Maybe I'll go ahead and do one like this, do some stripes, and in between the stripes I might draw some different lines. Okay, I'm going to move this around. And again, everyone works at a different pace, so don't worry if I'm going quicker than you. You just take your time and enjoy. So I'm trying to think of different patterns and shapes that I would like to do inside my design. I always switch them up. I never know what I'm going to do. I can even turn my page in different directions and that will give it a different effect, which should be cool. Getting close to being done. Okay. And once I'm finished, I can start outlining them. And you can use whatever you have, crayon, anything. I'm going to continue with my crayons, and since that's what I did before. Go ahead and start outlining these. This is going to take me quite some time to outline, just like you. So while you guys are outlining, I'm going to go ahead and play some music again. So just go ahead and continue. And in just a minute here, I'm going to stop for people who are around the 45-minute mark. And then everyone else, we will continue past if you're the hour class. Now at this point in time, if you're in the 45-minute class, you're probably almost done, or the video might need to stop now. Just depends on when you started the video. So if you're finished, you can go ahead and sign off if you're ready. Just wait for your teacher to tell you and make sure it's all done. But if you're here for me for another hour, we're going to continue moving along. All right, so for this next little bit, some of you are still working on this, and it's okay if you're not finished. Now, if we are going for the extra 15 minutes, because you're an hour-long class, I want you to think about, where could I add some color to this? Do I want to just color in the background and leave these little shapes black and white, or do I want to color in the shapes and leave the background in color? I'm not sure what I'm going to decide, and I don't know what you're going to decide, but it's kind of fun if we all do something different. So you decide what you think you want to do. So I think what I want to do is, I kind of like, since these are all only one color, I think I want to just use like an explosion of colors, maybe in the shapes or in the background. Not sure. Okay, so I'm going to get my coloring materials. I'm going to try to color over here just in case some of you are still doing the patterns and the outlines. And I'm going to go ahead, and I think what I want to do is I want to color in these different shapes. So I'm going to color in some parts here. So I want lots of different colors. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to try to think of a color pattern maybe. So if I did blues and greens and purples, does anyone know what that might be on the color wheel? They're colors next to each other, but sometimes we use terms called warm and cool colors. Do you remember that? So am I doing a warm tone or am I doing a cool tone? Here, I'll bring it closer so you can see. Right, so smart. Cool tones. Knew you knew it. All right, so this next one, maybe I'll do a warm tone one and get some like orange and pink and yellow or red. So I like to do this cheating thing. You can watch me, watch the teacher cheat. I like to do yellow since it's my lightest color, and I just like color over the whole thing like this. So that way I don't have to color in each individual circle. And now when I go with my next color, and if I want to go in between, I can just go on top of the yellow and I know it'll be okay. And it'll kind of blend the color, but that's okay. I don't mind it because they're next to each other on the color wheel and they're all warm tones, so it kind of looks nice anyway. So it's okay if I do like yellow with pink. It might make it like orangey pink, pinkish red, whichever color that might be. All right, so you decide what you want to color in, and at this point in time, you can go ahead and color in whatever you would like since you have that extra class time because we're going extra long. You guys are so lucky you get an extra long art class, and we're going for the full hour. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm going to start coloring in. I think here I'm going to do some yellow here maybe. Maybe I want this one to be yellow too. I want to use my yellow first. I think I'm going to go to all the things I would like to color in yellow. Sometimes I do that. I don't color in each thing at once. I just use the colors I want. This peachy color orange. Okay, I'm trying to keep my warm tone. You don't have to do the same thing. Maybe you want to do rainbow, or maybe you just like coloring the background. I actually thought about, instead of coloring these guys, just doing the background like in rainbow colors. That would be pretty too. Whatever you think works for me. This is art and it's just supposed to be fun. Hopefully you guys are having a good time. These are nice and bright. I think one of my favorite things is coloring. I would love to do this for a living. Hey, guess what? I kind of do. Colors are just so much fun and just makes me happy, makes me smile. Hope you guys are enjoying this. It's just relaxing to color in sometimes. Get your mind off of things. Right, oh, I'm getting close. Oh, I'm gonna do this color. I like this color green, it's pretty. Reminds me of the sunshine and the grass and being outside, beautiful day, spring, summer, you name it. All right, so while we continue coloring, I'm gonna go ahead and put that music back on so you don't have to hear me talk. I'm just teasing. All right, so let me go ahead and play that music. We'll keep coloring and then art will be over in just a little bit. Now, if you get done a little early, you're like, Miss Barlow, I'm done. Remember, we're trying to do our best color skills. We're not scribble scrabbling. So look back and see if you can fill in some of those whites and do like a little bit better with the shading and the coloring. But if you have extra time, you can always flip this over and do something on the back and free draw. But remember, guys, at this point, you've been doing so great. I'm so proud of you guys. Keep up the good work. But remember, don't bother your teacher, okay? Because she needs this time to plan. So make sure you keep working and just stay with me. All right, so I'm going to play some music. We're going to color, and then we'll be done in just a minute. Hi everyone! That was so fun. I hope you enjoyed art class today. So today we talked about different types of colors. We talked about those advanced colors. We know our primary, which is red, yellow, blue. And when we mix them, you guys know those colors. What does yellow and blue make? Green, right. What does yellow and red make? Orange. What about red and blue? Makes purple, which are our secondary colors, green, purple, and orange. And we learned a little bit more about how our color wheel, even next to each other, can get even more in depth. Like you can have a yellow orange, or like a green blue, which is called teal. We have all these beautiful colors. We also learned about monochromatic, which was one color scheme, like in your geo rocks. If you take a look at the rocks here, like this guy, notice we had orange, one color, but look at all the different values and hues we got by pushing it harder and softer. We got three different tones in one monochromatic color. So we learned some big words today in art. You still have a little bit more time. So we have about maybe like, I don't know, 5 more minutes to 10 more minutes, just depending on when the video started. So keep on drawing. I know some of you are still coloring, so don't worry, we're not finished. And I look forward to seeing you next time. And if you guys have any questions, you can ask me when we come to art next week. But keep on working for about 5 to 10 more minutes with coloring this in. And again, if you ever get done early, you can flip it over the back and free draw. Or, hey, this is your art. Maybe you want to color more in, or maybe you want to be super creative and maybe you want to draw. Remember, we did different projects with stick figures. Maybe you want to draw little stick figures walking on these, or maybe you want to draw something fun in the background, like it's a treasure map or a scavenger hunt, and you're going to do an X marks the spot. And these are the rocks that you have to like go through to get there. I don't know. This is your artwork. I want to see what you make. So be creative, have fun, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Thanks. Bye.